Good morning, everyone. Hope you are enjoying your Labor Day there, risers. We have an abbreviated but still amazing show for you today, of course.
Stole my line.
Sorry about that. We talked to journalists Ted Mann and Thomas Greita, who covered the shocking downward spiral of General Electric. They've got a new book called Lights Out, Pride, Delusion, and the Fall of GE.
That's right. And we've got an associate professor of history at Princeton University and contributing editor at Jacobin, Matt Karp. He's going to join us to talk about the legacy of the Sanders campaign.
We're also going to share our thoughts on corporate media and examine whether there is an inherent prejudice against people without college degrees.
First, we want to talk to you guys about this new Pew Research polling, which is somewhat connected to what we'll talk about later today. And it's actually about how 62% of Americans, we can throw this up there on the screen, say that significant changes are needed in the fundamental design and structure of the American government to make it work for current times. 37% only say that the current design and structure of government serves the country well. And that's just, Krystal, a common theme of what we see here. The lack of faith of Americans in their institutions is overwhelming. 2/3 of Americans basically saying, government does not work for me. And it's not just this, it's all the way down the line. Only 50% of Americans agree with the statement, everyone has an equal opportunity to succeed in the United States. People don't even disagree. Rights and freedoms of all people are respected. 41%
Yikes.
overall. Elected officials face serious consequences for misconduct. 27%. The tone of political debate is respectful. 28%. Campaign contributions do not lead to greater political influence. The lowest number, 26%. So
wow.
Americans think that their government is corrupt, that it doesn't work, that all people are not treated equally, that elected officials are privileged over others. Are they wrong? No.
Pew is basically like, are you living in a failed state? And they're like, yes, we are.
Basically. Yeah.
And look, I mean, they're right. They're 100% right.
Yeah.
If you had any doubt before coronavirus, you can certainly not have any doubt now. I mean, you know, now we have the answer to when a massive crisis hits this country. Can we get the gears of government to actually turn? Can we hearken back to those times when Democrats and Republicans were able to actually serve the interests of the American people, as imperfect as that has always been throughout our history? Yeah. And basically what we've seen is the answer is no. I mean, we had a real world pressure test here with horrifying consequences. You compare the response on the pandemic approach and on the economic approach of our country versus developed countries around the world, and you get an ugly, ugly result. It is an ugly, ugly comparison. So yeah, Americans are frustrated. At the same time, you have this incredible paradox of, in their own ways, yes, Donald Trump was sort of a, like, upset the apple cart candidate, but in a lot outside of, you know, Twitter and a lot of sort of inflammatory rhetoric and sometimes very inflammatory acts that he engages in. But in terms of changing who really pulls the levers here in this town, they didn't really change anything.
No, they didn't change.
Brought in the same type of people running against another candidate who, of course, has promised to not allow anything to fundamentally change. So you have this incredible paradox of the American people in election after election saying, we want change, we want change, we want change, not getting it. And now the only choices are both two people who would protect the status quo in slightly different ways.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And there's no reason that it has to be this way. And especially when Trump won an election not being this way and actually running against the system. So it just goes back to something I say all the time. The greatest political opportunity is right here. Americans want a new government. They want a new social contract. They want new services. They want to actually feel some sort of faith in their government again, but they don't. And I don't blame them. They don't trust the media. They don't trust the government. They basically see corporate money influencing everything in American life.
Yeah.
And they're exactly right.
They are not wrong. All right, we're going to have more rising for you after this.